Lost in translation, where people say the darndest things.
Mr. Miyagi would say karate yes, karate no, down the middle squashed.
You know, I can't give you all the ingredients to the hot dog. You might not like it. There's still a little bit of Ferris Bueller in this player.
Is it the Delaware River?
Today is as dead as Napoleon.
Pool party time. It's good.
A relationship not many people know about, and we're secret lovers.
Definitely an HR violation.
Oh my goodness, I love this. All right.
Never fails.
You can't have Lost in translation without Jerry Jones. He was caught in 4K, given the finger during the Jets-Cowboys game over the weekend, but listen to his explanation.
That was unfortunate that there was a swarm of Cowboy fans. That was inadvertent on my part because that was right after we'd made our last touchdown, and we were all excited about. There wasn't any antagonistic issue or anything like that. I just put up the wrong show on the hand, but intention was thumbs up.
I want to get to
different.
I'm sorry, I'm
fingers.
like choked up thinking about this moment. I want to get to the point in my life where I just don't care and I just say whatever I want to justify the actions. It's amazing. I'm so happy he didn't apologize. By the way, live a little. What's $250,000 to Jerry Jones? Pocket change?
Nah,
I don't even know if it's pocket change.
Was it worth the finger? You know, like maybe he felt so good about it.
He gets another day in the news cycle.
Those fingers
It's right
are
in the
far
playbook.
away, though. Like the thumb and that finger are not close. So
I'm trying to think if I've ever done something like that.
Dan, you do something like that like every day.
Yeah.
Every day?
Yeah.
That's
At home, there's nothing at home you've done that you're like, I wasn't actually meaning to do that.
well, to that
Sometimes
extreme
say.
of what that represents. I don't know if I have.
Okay.
No, I've probably done it
misrepresented
directly,
you, Dan. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I have a reputation.
Jerry Jones. Okay, new on NFL Live. The Jags look to keep rolling as they host the Seahawks this Sunday. Here's Trevor Lawrence on the matchup.
It doesn't worry me, no. I mean, obviously it's something that we do have to handle the right way. We got to know that we haven't done anything. I mean, the only thing we're guaranteed is that we're going to win 4 games this year, which is, which isn't enough. So, we got a lot more work to do. So I think the guys know what the right mindset is, though. And I think guys know that we play a really good Seattle team this week. And if you're still thinking about the game we just won, then, that's a problem. We got to move on.
Yeah, that was really important what he said right there. Like, even though it's great to bask in the glow of winning against the Chiefs on Monday Night Football, move on because this one could slip up on you. Let's turn our attention to the Jags defense. What's going to be key for them, Dan, in this matchup? Yeah,
it's a battle of strength on strength in this football game. This Jags defense has been very good in a lot of different situations. They're also very good dealing with what I would say is the strength of Seattle's offense, 12 personnel, 1 back, 2 tight ends. I love Seattle's 12 personnel because they can do so much out of it. They can get their play action game out of it. That is very good. They can get their, max protection game, JSN, Cooper Kupp, the way that they can beat coverages. If you look at the left side, Sam Darnold thrives in it using those 2 tight ends. He hasn't thrown an interception in those 2 tight end situations, and they're averaging 6.6 yards per carry when they have those 2 tight ends in the field. Right side, Jacksonville's defense is fantastic defending it. And so who wins in that battle of Seattle's going to do it. I promise you, Seattle will live 30 to 40% of this game into 12 personnel. How does Jacksonville handle it, and which one wins?
Yeah, and Jacksonville did not we talked about it earlier, not a lot of pressure generated against Patrick Mahomes. Other side of the ball, what I'm keeping my eyes on is Seattle is on the short list for best defenses in the NFL and generating pressure without bringing an extra rusher. We talked about this actually going into their game against the Bucs last week as well. Despite the fact that their pass rush win rate is near the top of the NFL, their blitz rate is near the bottom of the NFL. Can this Jaguars offensive line hold up against what might be the most versatile group of interior defensive linemen across the league? They've got guys in literally different shapes and sizes in that amongst that interior group that just find ways to make life really uncomfortable for you as a passer. I thought there were some moments, specifically the last drive of the game, where it kind of started off a little like, you're like, dude, you understand the clock is working against you a little bit here, right? 2 runs. But there were other moments throughout that game where I'm thinking to myself, Trevor was very decisive in the right way in terms of when to utilize his legs. He had 2 rushing touchdowns, both on very good decisions by him. See more of that, because this front will make you uncomfortable. They'll find ways to compromise the interior of that pocket.
Okay, so the head coach of Jacksonville is who?
Liam Cohen.
Where'd he come from?
the Rams and the Bucks.
Yeah. Who did Seattle play last weekend?
Yeah.
Bucks.
The Bucks.
And so the Bucks, who Josh Grizzard, their offensive coordinator, was under Liam Cohen. If you watch the way that they attacked Seattle's offense, it was that first down, ultra aggressive, motion, snap it while the guy's going, play action shots over the middle of the field, and they killed Seattle's middle of the field defense. The middle linebacker for Seattle, I think Ernest Jones, was struggling in coverage. I would imagine Jacksonville would run very similar stuff to see, have you fixed it? Because they tackled poorly Seattle defensively as well. I think they'll get that. Mike will get that right. But I just think schematically, there's a lot that they can carry over that Tampa Bay did that I would fully expect Jacksonville to try to implement.
I bet Jacksonville wishes that they would have Strange, their tight end. He's such an important target for them.
Yeah, that's a great point.
IR.
He's a big deal.
That was a big deal. I mean, he went out.
He's on IR?
Yes.
4 games.
They announced that.
Yeah.
But maybe promising that Brian Thomas Jr. had that big catch late in the game, too. Like, they really want to get him more involved.
And Diami and Travis Hunter.
Of Brian Thomas Jr. and Trevor Lawrence all season on Monday.
Yeah.
I agree.
Wasn't 100% in terms of targets and catches, but, like, huge PI late in the game in the end zone on a ball that, like, was right there, and that's a good opportunity. It was not a touchdown because of the fact that he got interfered with, but it looked the most comfortable between those two guys all season. And 4-1 is great. If they want to get to another tier in the AFC, which they're starting to knock on that door, they need to be a bit more explosive offensively through their 2 wide receivers specifically. Brian Thomas Jr. and Travis Hunter both have immense talent. We saw it especially in the case of Hunter on Monday night. They got to get more out of those guys if they're going to compete with the biggest of contenders in the AFC. I know they just beat the Chiefs on Monday night, but you got to keep doing that throughout the course of the year.
They're knocking on that door, though. All right, new on NFL Live. Actually in Cincy. So who is QB2 in Cleveland now? Kevin Stefanski addressed that today.
Still working through all roster type of things. I always have to be mindful of our players and our players' development. And, I want to make sure that I'm always doing what's best for our players and, of course, our team. But, with young players, I'm always thinking about last week making the change to Dylan. You have to think long and hard about that because these are young players that you're so invested in their development. So I'll let the week play out and make a decision later on that.
By the way, I just want to say Kevin Stefanski is such a good coach. I'm not sure he gets enough credit all the time. Time now for some top stories. Adam, what are the Browns' plans for Shedeur Sanders this week?
Well, our 2-time Coach of the Year, Kevin Stefanski, did not specify what his plans were. And the fact that he didn't do that today tells you that obviously they're giving some consideration to Bailey Zappi, who is on the practice squad. If Shedeur is the second-string quarterback, that means they have a rookie starter, a rookie backup, and that might not be the ideal scenario for the Cleveland Browns. Obviously, he wants to see how the week unfolds and wait until the end of the week before he makes his announcement. But the fact that he didn't anoint Shedeur today raises some signs of curiosity. Joe Flacco, meanwhile, will start Sunday against the Green Bay Packers. It will mark the second time in 4 weeks that Joe Flacco will start against the Green Bay Packers. He did it as the Browns quarterback, and he will do it as the Bengals quarterback on Sunday. Another crack at Green Bay. Meanwhile, out in San Francisco today, Brock Purdy did not practice today. And that's a sign that Mac Jones could be tracking again to play on Sunday in place of Brock Purdy, who's dealing with that turf toe injury. And Brock Purdy was not the only 49er not to practice today. No Ricky Pearsall, no Juwan Jennings. They are not counting on having Pearsall on Sunday. We'll see if Jennings can make it back for that game. And as for Thursday night football, tomorrow night, a slew of notable injuries. Landon Dickerson ruled out for the Eagles. Darius Slayton ruled out for the New York Giants. It looks like Nakobe Dean could make his season debut tomorrow night for Philadelphia. And one other injury note about that game, Tyrone Tracy Jr., the Giants running back, is off the injury report and expected to play Thursday night against the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, I see Jalen Carter on there as well. It seems like anytime he's been out there, he has been dealing with an injury as well. Thanks to Adam. Now, speaking of the Eagles, last year they were the only team that called more run plays on offense than pass plays, running for nearly 180 yards per game. This season, however, Philly is only calling design run on 41% of offensive plays and are averaging just 3.5 yards per rush, the 4th lowest mark in the NFL. Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley confirmed that they, along with A.J. Brown, had a meeting this week amid the Eagles' offensive struggles. Here's more on what they had to say.
Yeah, we had a conversation, but I'm not going to speak too much on it. I feel like that conversation is meant to stay between us, but focus was all about the team, and I think it was a good thing.
Man, it's just us talking about the collective, talking about taking ownership for what we can, and talking about how we move forward as a team so we continue to find ways to win games.
Love the fact that we all get together and are looking for solutions to continue to get better. That's just not a coaching thing. That's just not a leaders on the football team. That's this team. When the captains on your team and the leaders of your football team are doing that, and just focusing on how we get better and be playing our best football by the end of the year. You don't have to sit with this loss that we had on Sunday for too long. We get to go out and play a game tomorrow. We're really excited about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's worth saying that it's just the one loss that they've had.
Yeah.
Now, I realize their offense has struggled, but still remarkable the lens through which we're viewing these Eagles. What do you make of all this?
That's what we have reached with Philadelphia, is that the bar is no longer do you play well offensively or defensively. It's are you the best team in the NFL, and can you legitimately compete for a championship this season, which I fully believe that they can. As a matter of fact, I'm still thinking they are the best team in the NFL when they put their A game together. Is it fair to note some of the areas in which they have struggled so far this season? Of course, offensively, they have had some dramatic woes. This team also, since Nick Sirianni became the head coach, has averaged nearly 26 points per game. That's the second highest mark in NFL history for any head coach that has coached at least 50 games, behind only Sean Payton. There's plenty of reasons for me to believe that this team over the course of the season is going to get better. I think the reason that we hold them to a certain standard is not just because they're the defending Super Bowl champions, but also because so much of the offense returned from 2024 that we expect things to sort of pick up where they left off. And I think maybe Philly is given a little bit less grace to grow early in the year compared to the rest of the NFL. These are what I would call high society problems. When you're at the very top of the mountain, we got to find ways to identify issues. It's just those issues feel much more significant because of the fact that if you're not perfect and if you're not dominating teams, we're asking what's wrong. So have a lot of belief in this Philadelphia team going forward. It has not been a perfect start offensively, but a good opportunity tomorrow night specifically to get the running game going. The Giants have allowed 140 rush yards per game. It hasn't been pretty for them in terms of trying to limit opposing running backs. Maybe Saquon Barkley has kind of a vintage Saquon Barkley night at MetLife Stadium.
All right, remember, he had 176 rush yards in his only other career meeting versus the Giants.
Yeah.
You wonder, I mean, it feels like maybe the revenge is over there. He's gotten all the revenge he could ever want,
Sure,
but there's probably still a little
always a little room for extra
exactly.
revenge, right? Yeah.
All right, coming up, coaches and players.